10 October arrives for Virgo like a gentle whisper from the universe. Slow down. Listen. Look more closely. The day is quiet and unhurried, soft as leaves rustling in the morning air. If you tune in, you'll sense more than usual. You may wake with a subtle inner restlessness or a feeling that it's time to tidy not only your surroundings but your inner world as well. Virgo picks up these currents more finely than most. Your inner barometer suggests you're standing at the threshold of something important. This is a day when you can feel there's more to life than tasks, lists, and plans. You might catch yourself wanting to understand rather than rush, to trust rather than control. Let that feeling be a fresh beginning. You may realize it's time to revisit certain decisions, not because you were wrong, but because you've evolved. Your desires have shifted, your vision has deepened. 10 October lifts you carefully to a slightly higher level. If you allow yourself not to hurry, not to push, not to chase familiar efficiency, you'll hear the voice of your own heart. Guard your energy today. Avoid scattering yourself across everything or trying to be good for everyone. Virgo often does this automatically, trying to please, help, fix. But today asks for honesty with yourself. What do you truly feel? What belongs to the past? And what deserves a place in your future? Meaningful coincidences may appear, a stranger's words, an old friend re-emerging, objects that suddenly remind you of something essential. These aren't accidents, they're signposts. Virgo sees significance in small things, and that lens is especially sharp now. If you've postponed an important conversation, 10 October may be the moment when the right words arrive, not because you rehearsed them, but because your heart ripened. It could be a talk about feelings, plans, boundaries, any exchange in which you tell yourself and another person the truth. In love, expect quiet inner revelations. You may recognize that feelings you tucked away never left, or you may understand that love is not duty, habit, or effort. It's a living force that either exists or doesn't. That clarity can open the door to deep inner honesty. If you're partnered, the day can bring a gentle softness. You might feel how precious it is simply to be present, to sit beside each other without fixing, directing, or correcting. That state brings the calm you've been missing. This day is especially meaningful for Virgos who felt they were living a life that wasn't truly theirs, adjusting too much, enduring too long, placing themselves at the end of the line. 10 October gives you a chance to notice what you've missed while busy with duties and caring for others. It's a day to reclaim your right to feel, to dream, and to want according to your heart, rather than a rulebook. If you catch yourself getting irritated by small things, pause. It's not mere annoyance, it's a message. Your body and soul are saying, I'm tired of being convenient. I want to be myself. If you heed that voice and embrace yourself, instead of blaming your sensitivity, everything begins to shift. Work and practical matters may unfold differently than planned. But don't worry. Sometimes life rearranges events to teach us how to let go. Virgo loves to keep everything under control. But 10 October is about trust. About saying, I'm doing all I can, and I'll hand the rest over to life. In that surrender, the weight on your shoulders grows lighter. Harmony with your space matters today. Tidy your home not from obligation but to create beauty around you. Light a candle, pour a favorite drink, refresh an item of clothing or a corner of your home. Let each small act be care, for you. Virgo gives and gives, aiming to be useful, needed, and important. Today, pause for your own sake. You mustn't run on empty, you need to be replenished. Only from inner wholeness emerges the Virgo who is noticed, loved, and appreciated. If you've been postponing care for your body, 10 October is an excellent day to begin. Even one small loving step yields a profound inner effect, a walk, breathing practice, a salt bath, massage, an early night. Your sensitivity is heightened, and your body responds to every ounce of attention. Offer gratitude to it. In communication, unexpected insights are possible. You may sense that someone in your orbit pulls you away from yourself, or that someone's presence honors your authentic self. Don't fear conclusions even when they sting. Today you look truth in the eye, and that frees you. Relationships grounded in genuine closeness will grow stronger. Those sustained by effort from only one side may begin to crack, not because they were bad, but because you're no longer willing to live as half of yourself. That is your maturity. Around midday you may feel something special, as if life slows down, and clarity enters with the pause. What seemed tangled begins to loosen. Where fear lived, understanding arrives. Where anxiety churned, a lightness appears. Where heaviness pressed, a pale, quiet inspiration floats in. All of it comes without strain, simply because you permitted yourself to be rather than constantly manage. Honor the unhurried pace. Don't force action if your soul asks for quiet. Virgo often lives under should. 10 October is about May. You may feel, you may stop, you may release perfection, you may be simply yourself, alive, vulnerable, true. If there's someone around whom you feel internal tension, listen closely to yourself. Virgo knows how to endure and keep the peace. But today you may recognize you're no longer willing to accept relationships without respect. 10 October lends you the strength to choose calmly and consciously, with love for yourself, without shouting, blaming, or proving. For those in love, this is a day of soft but profound realizations. You might see that love isn't expectation or worry, it's the quiet ease beside the right person. And if ease is absent, perhaps it's time to put things in their rightful place. If your partner truly values you, you'll feel it throughout your body. They won't need grand declarations. A gesture, a look, simple presence will be enough to show you are not alone, that you are loved, accepted, and seen. Some of you may sense a kind of loneliness, but not as hurt. It's a pause before a new chapter, a moment when the old recedes and the new hasn't fully begun. There is enormous strength in that pause, because it's exactly when we hear ourselves, and when you hear yourself, you are never alone. If you work with information, write, teach, heal, or create beauty, 10 October invites you to look more deeply into your craft, to feel the meaning of your work, to notice how your words, your hands, your effort affect others. Virgo rarely grasps how essential they are to the world, but today is a day to feel it, not through praise or applause, but through quiet inner recognition. I do something that matters. I am not merely filling space, I am part of something larger. My precision, care, and attentiveness are a light, subtle yet needed. By evening, an unusual sensation may arise, as if the entire day was an inward journey. You didn't just pass the hours, you walked through a labyrinth of feelings, memories, and thoughts, and emerged a little different, calmer, more whole, more honest with yourself. You might feel a tender sadness or joy without a reason. The soul is responding because 10 October touched something very deep within you. It set processes in motion that will open gradually, and you'll feel their echoes in the days ahead. Now it's especially important not to rush back into old patterns. Don't dive into messages, fill the silence with headlines, or run after productivity. Stay with yourself a little longer. Light a candle. Sit in the dimness. Remember who you were in the morning and who you are now. What shifted? Live this day to the end, consciously. Thank yourself for not running from your feelings, for allowing yourself to sense, for choosing to be real rather than convenient. Virgos often undervalue themselves because they're so busy being useful to others. Today you were useful to yourself, and that matters most. If you feel ready, reach out to someone meaningful or remain silent. Do what your heart wants, not what others expect. True power grows from inner honesty. In that state, you attract people who see you clearly, in love, in work, and in your dreams. 10 October lays a foundation. You cannot see the tower yet, but the first stone is set, and it will support everything you build, because it is formed from your truth, your depth, and your light. Before sleep, tell yourself quietly, "On I walk my own path." It isn't always easy, but it is mine, and that is priceless. Let it be your inner prayer, your anchor, your support,